Well, hey guys, thought I would give you a little quick garden tour. My blackberries have started to grow and sprout. This one actually was, this whole strand was like buried in the ground down here. And surprisingly, this one wasn't doing so good for several years, but it looks like it's going to take off this year. This one is doing just fine, but the ones on the front of the house are way, 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 way better. I came out to turn off the water. I finally got my elderberry bush planted. So I haven't been gardening for a while. As you can see, everything's kind of grown up, and we have started using we've started using this area back here as the driveway, and it comes around where my tomato garden was on the other side of the tree right there, and up to the front of the house right here. And then it's going to come on this side and then come back down here to the driveway, and then you can just go back down the driveway to the road. And so Mike has been putting in a gate over there, which I will share with you guys in a moment. But Mike saw a TikTok, or not a TikTok, he doesn't have TikTok, but like some kind of a reel or Facebook, like a short basically about planting tomatoes right in the bag. Personally, I don't think it's a good idea, but he really wanted to do it. So, I mean, here we are. I wasn't going to do any tomatoes anyways, so he picked out one tomato, which I was able to separate into two on each bag. The cups had two just kind of grown together, so I split them apart a little bit. They're still planted too close. If I had realized, I would have had them put holes like on each end of the bag, but it's fine. It's just the same variety. And then we're just going to do those tomatoes there and those tomatoes there. The elderberry is going to go here this year. And then I'm going to get some zinnias again in this section like I've done in the past. And then this is just going to be kind of cute. So basically this whole front section is just going to end up being flowers. For the most part. This year I'm not going to do a lot of like actual vegetable gardening, I don't think. This is still going to be the asparagus, and you can see the asparagus is, I really need to like go through it, clean it up, and figure out what I'm doing with this, to be honest. Honestly, I would really like to put cinder blocks around and make it into like an actual bed, and then maybe maintain it better that way. And so all of this is like really badly overgrown. All my beds. I just mowed through the sections today. This one's like breaking apart. So you can see like my garden's been kind of neglected for a while. So I'm going to turn this off. But yeah, and then I guess I'll go around and show you the gate Mike's been doing. So like the front of our driveway up there, we had this gate. And Mike has been making the gate back here so that we can turn our backyard into more of a backyard where we don't have random people. By the way, I just saw that. Look. It is bluebonnets along with the massive anthills. This whole section right here is like anthill city. These crazy ants, I swear. I can't get rid of them for the life of me, but I am going to be also, I'm like all over the place right now, you guys. This is the sandbox that I used as a planter bed, and I am going to be pulling that out because it's now going to be the driveway where we bring our car, and we're going to have to add in more like gravel and like dirt and stuff to kind of smooth it out a little bit better. And then, this is like just basically where we're going to have a gate to where we can still open it up and get stuff into the backyard if we want. But essentially to keep random strangers from driving to the back of the house. And so he's been working on this whole section, and he's going to eventually have a fence that goes all the way up to the side of the house over there. And then that's my office. And then we've decided we're going to do, I think at this point, white metal, like what goes on the roof, but it's going to be white metal siding and we're just going to tack it on over everything, so that way the house will be white metal, and then we can just hose it off. It should last a lot longer. I still have to clean up all of this stuff. I've been spending a lot of time today working on cleaning, but we're going to actually cut down these posts to the platform level of what used to be the gazebo. So it's just going to be a platform base. It's not going to actually be a gazebo really anymore because it was rotted out. So I loved it for the while we had it, but at this point, at least for now, it's just going to be a platform, and then I'm just going to maybe I have 3 more of these big pots, so I'm thinking I'll get some really pretty flowers, and then once this is all cleaned back out, I'll have like a platform right here and put some really pretty flowers there. It's actually sprinkling right now. It's just crazy. We used to have a tree stump here, and Mike burned it and got it down, so we have to smooth this out still. And then this was that big hill that I could never get anything to really truly grow. I tried planting bulbs and everything on it, and I just couldn't get anything to work. So most likely we're gonna dig this out and use it as like fill dirt for other parts of the yard, and then just have this be essentially the driveway that goes down and then back around. And then I'm just thinking that my garden will be like more decorative flowers eventually and that sort of thing. And then I might end up moving the posts with my fence, unless I'm going to do any kind of like vines, which I'm not sure I'm doing that. So I'm probably going to take these out and put them in the backyard so we can use them for other stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been working on. And over here was the tomato garden, you guys. And last year I did not do any gardening of tomatoes. It was overrun with the ants, and I just had no motivation to do it. And then it grew up these tall weeds. So I have been working on clearing it out. So I want to get all of this out and get my mat lifted up. And then essentially we'll be bringing, our driveway comes here. And right now we're driving around this section, and like we can park our trailer over there. But I want this whole section cleared out again. And then I'm going to just end up using it as like basically driveway parking, and like, I don't know, eventually we'll have it all cleaned up. So as of right now, the little front of the house kind of looks like crap, but when Nolly gets home from work, and she parks right here, so we put these little lights in because the hogs came up one day, and they were coming up actually for like a couple weeks, and they were digging out. This whole area got dug out into like, now it's just like uneven ground everywhere. So like we're gonna have to go through and clean all this up too. And then I made a little bed for my, one of the cats here, and Mike made a little ramp to go across because we have this whole area dug out, and it ends up being like a moat. When we get a bunch of rain, it kind of fills up a little bit, which is really bad. And then he's been working on a water project right there, and we were working on our bathroom. The shower's right on the other side of that. So we're currently working on like 1,000 projects at once, which is why I haven't been doing a lot of gardening, because we have so much stuff we're working on in the house. But since we're using this door as our front door now, got a string hanging off. He put up a gutter the other day just so that way we can kind of get through without being completely like dumped on. But anyways, that is what it looks like today, and it is the beginning of March. I think it's like March 8th, I think, or 9th. But yeah, that's it.